Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Basement Card Collector. Today's video is going to be a video response for our buddy Dan at Old Sarge Collects. He is celebrating his 200 subscribers, and even as I'm recording today, he's at 250. So congratulations, Dan. And he is asking for a video response showing cards of Hall of Famers on post-playing day cards. What a great idea, first of all. It's really cool to see these old stars and greats on today's shiny cards, and so I have actually a big stack right in front of us here to help celebrate this giveaway, this celebration for Dan. We're not going to go through all of these, but I found this at a yard sale, this stack a long time ago in this summer, but they're from the Topps Archives 2002, and I just think this is a great set. I just happened to pull, here's a Nolan Ryan, but what a cool way to get some of those cards that I am probably just, for one, wanting to have, but just very unlikely to get. And so I just thought I'd set that stack here. I actually have a couple stacks behind the camera. I'm going to show former greats on post-playing day cards. So I just have a few stacks, and there really is no, but just to celebrate the cards here on coaches cards. Now this is an 81 Topps team card set, pretty cool. Nothing, you know, for the Cubs fan, yes, but out there's like, why would this? Well, this top corner right here is Billy Williams, Cubs Hall of Famer, was a coach afterwards, so that's a really cool way to do that. And again, a couple coaches cards. Whitey Lockman was a manager, but check out one of his coaches. Second guy down, Ernie Banks. So you could get a 1973 Topps Ernie Banks card. Same thing, here's the manager, Mr. Yogi Berra, on a 73 Topps. So manager cards. Donruss, this is an 85, I believe, but this is a Lou Gehrig Diamond King card. And the puzzle pieces, of course, you guys know about that. Warren Spahn, that is the puzzle. That's the 1990, I think, 89-90. So Warren Spahn. This is kind of, you can see Roberto Clemente first. That's his puzzle card. And if you see the gloss of the glare, that is from a very young basement card collector taping the thing together. Smooth move. But, you know, the pieces wouldn't stay together, so I thought, hey, this will help. Who remembers the collectabooks? Now, Ernie Banks is my favorite guy in this stack, but you could get a book. Height and weight, where he was born. There's him in the Mickey Mantle. I mean, but just how cool is that? There's all of his stats, which I think is one of the cool things about the collectabooks. We even get into the action pack cards. Here's Juan Marichal. Really cool cards. This is from 93. And then we get into the food issues. You guys, food issues and the convenience store card. Here's a Tom Seaver cornflakes from Kellogg's. Here's a Steve Garvey. Now, he's not in the Hall of Fame, but I just grabbed one from that set, loaded with the greats, just as it says there, baseball greats. Ooh, how cool was this? I don't have a Playing Days Joe DiMaggio card, but I do have a small little collection of starting lineup cards. Love that black and white. Speaking of black and white photos, I just think, you know, I think this is Circle K. But a black and white photo, just really cool. There's Lou Gehrig. Here's a Bob Feller with the Cleveland manager, Steve O'Neill. Just the black and white with a pop of color. It's just really nice. Really cool photo of Jackie Robinson. There's just something about a black and white photo. Just kind of takes you right there. Ted Williams came out with his own set celebrating the, you know, the greats of the game. Cool color photo on top of the other. That is super cool. The Ted Williams art card from the Upper Deck Heroes. similar set, but different make in the score. They put in a couple Hall of Fame players with just kind of like an art. Like, I consider this art. A photo of his jersey and card and spikes and things. So that's one. I just have a little stack here. Let's go kind of blending in the next group. So here's a Nolan Ryan, which he should have won the Cy Young Award in this year. Let's be real. But that's a new 22 from the Heritage set. I also think going with the black and white photo, if I put, let's put the Jackie up there. So when I think of former greats, just black and white seems to come to mind, which then on the other end of the scale, I think it really just kind of blows my mind when you see old players with shine. You know, and this is nothing too shiny, but just the idea Sandy Koufax is on a card with foil, shiny print, and gloss. It just kind of counters that thought of me thinking of Sandy Koufax in the black and white video throwing his no-hitter. And here he is on a glossy card. Here's the Billy Williams, like same idea. Sweet photo, very basic set design, but just looks so good with that little pop of shiny silver for the foil. Speaking of shiny, we got a couple shiny cards. Same set, but same thing. Reggie Jackson. Here's Ricky Henderson. What great photos. But again, when I think of the two players here, I just don't think of shine and gloss. But that's what the new sets have done, and it's just a really cool thing. So very cool. Let's see if we can't do this so we don't cover up his logo. Same thing for the shiny. I found this one also in that 93 set. Just a super fun way to get a Reggie Jackson card. I remember getting this back in the day thinking, I'm just probably never going to have a Reggie Jackson, especially from like the original A's days. I did have an 88 Fleer. That's not too exciting though. What else we got? This is really cool. This is kind of a black and white photo, but kind of on steroids a little bit. Just love that photo. Got the Bambino, long, kind of 3/4 sleeves with that shine and black and white. This looks almost like a ghost. Love that. Let's get a few more stands up here. And then speaking of the Babe, this is one of the, I don't even know what this is or where I got it, but there are all of his stats if you can read it in shiny gold foil. So there are the old players, the old greats, just a really cool way to get some of those players. And then to go along with my archive stack here, I think now I have several buddies in the YouTube world that actually have the actual cards here, and I'm just not there yet. So when I have this archive card of the Reggie Jackson rookie card, I think this is probably as close as I'm going to get to the 69 Topps Reggie Jackson. And that's okay. But several of you out there have several copies of this. That's cool. This is what I have. Same thing. I just saw Darren at Return to Collecting. Just got this back slabbed. I would love to have it, but this is probably as close as I'm going to get to the 61 Maris, and it looks excellent. It can actually hold some of the cards, you know, that you see in the Beckett's, and you see, it's just Larry Doby. I don't have one yet. Al Kaline on his rookie card. Not really. It's 2002. But it's just cool to have a copy of it to think, huh, that's what it actually looks like. And so I don't have one, but it sure looks nice. There's the Duke. Same thing. I don't have this. I don't have that Carl. I don't have this Willie Mays, but man, how sweet would that be? I think we just saw Steve at Vintage on Vintage get this back also. This is my copy is a little glossier than his. Oh man. Our buddy Dylan at Double D Vintage has this card and about every card in this stack, actually. I would love to have one. Mr. Picker Jim has a copy of this he showed. Out at a park, actually. Here's the 51 Willie Mays. Several of you have this also, and this is the 1989 Bowman version. Okay. I remember getting those, though, thinking, man, I got a Willie Mays rookie card. Speaking of Dylan, I'll leave a link to all these channels if I can remember this, but he actually has the Mickey Mantle Bowman card. My copy is perforated. I don't think his has that. His actually is legit. Same thing for this Mickey Mantle. It's like, I'm just never going to get one of those, but I can look at one. I can kind of see what the backs look like, or looked like. Same thing for Ted Williams. How about a cool Roy Campanella? And I don't know if that's actually the look of his 52. I mean, minus the gold foil, of course, but, you know, I would like to get one of those 52 tops, period. But can I get a Roy Campanella? Probably not. I do remember getting this card. Now, I have actually seen several folks get this as well. Not the turn back the clock version, but I would like to get this Hank Aaron card like most of us, but this is the only copy that I have currently. And this is kind of where we'll leave this stack. Love seeing the new form, and I think I've typed that on 100 comments here lately, watching Dan's video responses from other folks. I just love the person that said, you know what, let's make a 1987 Topps looking set, but let's make it in 2022. And let's put all of the stats of these great players on the back. And let's get some Billy Williams love on 1987 Topps. I just love the idea, whoever's that was, showing the old players on the, I say new designs, but you get what I'm saying. Billy Williams on 1987 Topps. We all opened 1 million packs of these. And to see your favorite players from back then on cards in 1987 variety, same thing. Here is an Ernie Banks on 1981 Topps. Well, obviously he was done playing by then, but then they put all the stats on the back. It's just a really cool thing to show old players on the new. And I have one numbered card here. This is an Ernie Banks. This is from Greg Clark at A Glove and Beyond TV. He sent this with a whole massive stack of cards, but an Ernie Banks with a refractor background. It's numbered. It's all thing. This is 2012, but I mean, what a great card. It gives you some, you know, some bullet points of how awesome he was. How cool is that, though? And I wondered sometimes, when I think of a lot of these players, I think of black and white photos, and I often wonder what they would think about seeing this gloss on cards and seeing, you know, just what would Babe Ruth think about having a card that has shine and sparkle. And the last little stack I have is just a really cool way to see some of those greats and to get a little more closer to them. And I just showed these in a recent video, but here's a Babe Ruth and a Roger Maris card, but we'd send it out to their relative. This is Linda Ruth Tosetti. It's Babe Ruth's granddaughter, and she signed it. That's just fun. And she wrote a really cool note. Here is Roger Maris's card signed by his son Randy Maris, and he also wrote a really great card. Little note back. Now again, Roger Maris not in the Hall of Fame, but we can all agree that he had a great run and just did some really cool things for our sport. So I have two other cards that actually we pulled. I think I've shown these before, but the greats of the game cards, obviously Bob Gibson and Lou Brock. Bob Gibson, the great Cardinals pitcher, and they get a card signed, and way back when, I think that he had 99 Fleer. And then here is Lou Brock, Cubs legend, Lou Brock. It's just awesome. It's got a little stamp in the middle. If that's coming through the case, I don't know. But how cool is that to get we'll put Bob Gibson on the top here. Slide over Raj. And then the final card we're going to show here for Dan and his 200 subscriber is an Ernie Banks autograph on this Nabisco card. And there's actually a whole list of former Hall of Famers that signed. They must have had a contract with Nabisco, but for a few years in a row, they just pumped those out, and they're legit. They're not, you know, a major brand like Topps or, you know, Upper Deck, but you can get several of the players like this in on-card autos for very little, and I think, man, I need to look into that. Dan, that was a really cool idea for a VR, and I'll leave a link to his channel, of course, and I'll try to put all those links of other folks that we mentioned as well. Just a really cool idea, Dan, for a VR. 200 subs, congrats, you're almost to 300 already. Very cool. If you don't know his channel, go check it out. Really cool idea, Dan. Good luck on 300. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.